So this will be a sign of a possible slab leak. You have water coming out of underneath the slab on the outside of the house here, where typically there's no reason for there to be water pooling up. There's no hose nearby. There's no dog's water bowl, anything. It's coming out of the crack from the house. Typically that could be signs of a water pipe leaking from under the slab and finding its way out from underneath. Another thing to look for when trying to figure out if you have a slab leak is water inside the house coming out of walls, underneath cabinetry, out of cracks in the tile. Generally this happens in areas close to plumbing, in bathrooms, kitchens, laundry room. And what you're going to notice is water, like I said, coming out of cracks underneath walls. It's not going to be coming out of underneath the sink so much as actually literally in the cracks of the tile or underneath the walls. This is because the leak's actually under the slab and surfacing, and it's finding the path of least resistance to come through the cracks and then surface in this area. And you'll find water sit on the floor in areas where you shouldn't be having water. If that water is, especially if that water is hot, which is most commonly what happens, you are dealing with a hot water slab leak, which 80–90% of the time is what people have. So you'll have hot water surfacing in areas, like I said, that normally obviously you don't have water. Another symptom that might tell you have a slab leak is hot floors. It's a lot easier to figure out when you're dealing with tile or wood floors rather than carpet because there's no insulation. But what tends to happen is if you have a hot water slab leak, which happens 80–90% of the time, the heat in the water that's leaking under the slab heats up the concrete of the tile and then in turn heats up the tile itself. So you might be walking in your bathroom or your kitchen with bare feet and notice, there's a hot area. No, you don't suddenly have heated floors. More than likely you have a slab leak. So if you go a few feet away and you have normal cool temperature tiles everywhere else, but you maybe have a few feet area or bigger that is really warm or even gets to the point of being hot, that can tell you there's a problem. Another thing you can look for when trying to determine if you have a hot water slab leak is your water heater. A water heater can give you one good telltale sign. If this water heater is running 24/7, that's not a good thing. If you were to empty this water heater and fill it up with cold water and start from scratch, it should take maybe about an hour or so to heat back up. If you're just using normal usage throughout the day in the house and you run a faucet or take a shower, it might kick on for 15–20 minutes or so. If you come out here and realize you're checking on this thing as you're walking in and out of your garage, where it's located in my house here, and realize it's running 24/7, well, that's because you have a constant flow of hot water going out and a constant flow of cold water going in, and the water heater is constantly having to heat to keep up with that demand. When you have a hot water slab leak, you have a pipe basically running 24/7, usually underneath the slab there, somewhere within the house, but it's like having a faucet open the entire time. So the water heater is in overdrive trying to work to keep up with that demand and keep the cooled water coming in heated. So if you walk out there again and check it, and you find out, hey, this thing's running 24/7, number one, it's going to rack up quite a water bill, and it's going to rack up quite a gas bill as well. That's a good telltale sign, and it's time to give us a call and get checked out. One more thing you can check to determine if you have a slab leak, and the good thing about this particular check is that it's going to determine if you have a cold or hot water slab leak, is to check your water meter. It's usually located out by the curb somewhere in a box in the ground. So what you're going to do is take the lid off the box. Your meter's going to look something like this. They don't all look exact. At some point you're going to have a bunch of numbers on it, and there's going to be a smaller dial. And in this particular case, the dial is red, and there's a little black notch on it there. That anytime water is in use, that little dial is going to spin, and it's pretty sensitive. Other meters, there's a little blue triangle or a little blue star. In any case, there's going to be something either red or blue that's going to spin on the meter whenever water's used, just like you see it spinning right now. If you have a slab leak, what you can do is go in the house, make sure nothing's being used, that the water is not on in any point in the house, no faucets, no showers, no toilets are filling up, and then come out and check the meter. If that dial is spinning like it is now, where it's spinning at a pretty fast rate, that means you're using water, but obviously it's not coming out of your faucets or toilets or your showers. That's a good indication that the water is leaking underneath the slab. If you watch it for an extended period of time with nothing on in the house, and it just continues to spin and spin and spin, and you see that dial spinning and this water usage going up, that's water passing through the meter and being used somewhere in the house. In this particular case, it would be leaking underneath the slab of your home. So that's a good check right there, good way to check and determine if you have a slab leak. Another way to determine if you might have a slab leak is to check your water bill. Most people know that it's roughly right in the same range every month. If your water bill is 2, 3, even 4 times as high as it normally is, well, there's a good chance that you might have a slab leak. Many times when you have a slab leak, the water doesn't surface, at least not for a while. It's absorbing underneath the slab into the ground. So there's a good chance that your first notification you have a slab leak is not going to be water coming up through the ground, it's going to be your water bill being 4 times as high as normal. So if you have an abnormally high water bill, give us a call and we'll come take a look. Hopefully these tips have been helpful in determining if you have a slab leak. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, you can contact us at 951-216-3280 or on the web at guardianplumbers.com.